guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. This is Joker, and tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the expression, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. If you look at, and this is part of my No Duh series, if you look at the other video I did, She's Not Yours, It's Just Your Turn, I'm kind of going through a lot of the expressions that we use in the manosphere and putting a little bit of a video together about them. For a lot of us, these are expressions we've heard for a long time, but I think there's a lot of guys that aren't in kind of the Bachelor or the guys going their own way area of the web or whatever, and so this may be the first time that they've heard this expression, which is what I've actually heard on my other video. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I had a female friend of mine in North Carolina. We used to work together, and we've kept in touch. I was actually friends with her now husband, then boyfriend, but I originally knew her. And we talked for, 15 minutes the other night. We hadn't talked in a couple years, and she was telling me about her marriage. And she said, why aren't you dating? Why have you decided not to be out there? And I said, it's just not worth it anymore. It's too much hassle. And she said, well, what is it that is so hard or so bothersome about dating? And I said, well, I just left it very short. Like, I don't want to be bothered about it. But I thought I'd put together a quick list of why it's just not worth it anymore. And this, we're not going to get into details and statistics and other things like I do on my other videos. This is just going to be nice and simple, clear cut. Like when somebody asks you why you're not into it, this is what you mention. While I'm at that, make sure that if you think of something that I haven't, put it down below in the comments. I'd like to hear what you guys think as well. So here we go. So number one, women are too entitled. They think they all deserve the 6-foot-tall, 6-figure income, well-packaged dude. But if they have a few extra pounds or don't take care of themselves, it's being empowered. And we should love them for just the way they are, big, bold, and beautiful. Sorry, genetics don't work that way. Women are attracted to tall, muscular men. Men are attracted to petite and curvy in the right spots women. Number two, dating is expensive, and the vast majority of women still expect the man to pay, despite now making similar incomes in similar job positions. To plan the dates, and they better be exciting, and to chase them without putting in any effort or sacrifices of their own to meet on middle ground. Now, let me quickly say, I'm not talking about all people. When I say this, I'm not talking about everyone, but I'm talking about the vast majority. Some of you guys have made comments of, well, my wife's not like this, and we've been married 20 years. Lots changed in the last 20 years when it comes to the world of dating, let me tell you. Number three, women are more successful and educated than ever. That's a good thing. I'm fine for equality. However, this tends to make them want to prove themselves strong and independent and demand their guy to be high value, even in relationships. Men get this all day in the workplace, and they just want someone they can relax with and be around that they care for and they like. They don't want a love life that's a constant challenge. It's not all about who's the best, who's the smartest, who's the this, Guys just want to come home and have someone that they can chill with and get along with, and they don't need the constant struggle. Of why the men are bad, right? Women make themselves too available in the physical way. Too many guys with too many guys. Their value to men plummets. I mean, when you have too many partners, right? Their ability to actually feel emotional and bond to a guy becomes non-existent the more partners she's had. A key that opens all locks is a master key. A lock that can be opened by all keys is a crappy lock. I think that's all there is to say about that one. I mean, the statistics, again, are something like average of 14 partners while in college for most college women. Sorry, I mean, you're burnt out before you even leave college. Number five, women will quickly and quite often leave a relationship for a more attractive man, a more wealthy man, a more physically fit man, a more interesting or bad boy persona, sometimes with no discernible reason other than she just got bored. And those stories are out there. Just, I care for him. He's sweet. He's wonderful. He's the best guy I've ever dated. But, right? They aren't forthcoming with what they want. Often they will say one thing and mean another. Or they just won't say that something's bothering them then when it first does. Instead, waiting months and then blow up on him for having done that very thing for all that time. In the meantime, the guys don't even know that he was doing something wrong. So what I mean by this is I actually had a girl once tell me, she said that when I talk, I do have this habit, and you'll hear it on my older videos. I've actually worked really hard to correct it, where before I breathe in, I have this little click thing where I do. So I might say something, and And another thing, and it drives him nuts, right? Well, she waited 3 or 4 months, and then one time we were out for dinner, and she just blew up on me and saying, "Why do you do that? That clicking drives me nuts," so on and so forth. I said, "Well, how long has it been bothering you?" She said, "For like 4 or 5 months." I said, "Why didn't you say something to me back then? You could have been 4 or 5 months without this thing bothering you, and it's, not a big deal for me to stop it." She just never thought of saying anything until she blew up later on. So half the time we don't know if we're doing something wrong and we're not told. The other time is when we go out, say we're going to go out with some friends to have a beer or something or other. We say, "Hey, I'm going to go out with the guys, blah, blah, blah." "Oh, I thought we were going to watch this video." "We can watch it another night, honey. Don't worry about it. No problem." But, the guys only get together once a month. So, that's cool though, right? "Oh, sure. Go ahead. I don't mind." So you go. Well, she said she didn't mind. Now we all know she did mind, right? Number 7. The guy's desires always come in second. If he chooses to do anything against her wishes, there's no compromise. She just gets upset, and he ends up paying for it in other ways. And the expression, "a happy wife makes a happy life." Same thing. I feel like pizza. She feels like tacos. I say we just went to a place you liked a week ago. I'm going to pick this one, and we'll do what you want next time. Fine. Well, I guess. Right? We've heard it all. And then you're in the doghouse after that. And then it's up to you to make up to her for you doing something that, God forbid, you wanted to do. Number 8, she always changes from who she is when the relationship first starts, and she immediately wants him to change into the perfect guy for what she envisions. The irony is that when he does, she loses all respect for him because he's not who she fell in love with and is such a pushover. And this one's pretty self-explanatory. It's an old expression as well. Men want their women to stay the same. Women want all their men to change. Number 9, the bedroom always dies, or at least 99% of the time. When she says "I do," it's often followed later in the relationship with, "No, I don't." Women never really love or appreciate a good man until they're gone and have moved on, and the woman is nearer to the wall and is running out of options. This one I've seen time and time and time again. You can see it on forums and Reddit and advice for men or advice for women columns and dating columns and all this other stuff. Is they want to chase the excitement. They want to chase the butterflies. They want to chase the bad boys. They want to chase the fun. And they wait too late into the game. And then all of a sudden, bang, you lose. And just like that, it's too late. The guys that are around your age or a little bit older, you look at a 35-year-old guy, he can date. At 45, I was dating, high 20s. So when a woman waits till 30, 35, and all of a sudden she decides, "Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to Mr. Serious. I've had my fun. I've had all my fun, and I'm running out of time." Guys say, "Well, yeah, but I'm around your age or a little bit older. I can go shoot younger than you," and they haven't. Then I can get involved in the fun. I don't have to just get you after you've got your baggage and your anger and your 7 kids. Let's see, where else are we? Too many single women have children who will always come first. We always hear that, right? Whether it's on in articles or in Tinder profiles or whatever. It's I'm a single mom of 2, 1, 3, 5. The record is 5 by 22. I've seen that once. And my kids are my world. And if you don't like that, swipe left. What do you mean I'm not getting any matches? Why is everybody swiping left? If you already have 2, 3, 1, 5 kids by the time you're 22, 23, 25, what's left for a guy if he wants a family? Do you think he's going to have 1 or 2 of his own plus your 3 or 4 or 2 or whatever? I mean, that's a lot of family to take care of. I mean, the guy's going to have to be pulling in 6 figures just to make ends meet. And that's a lot of baggage. And now there are some women that have kids. And maybe their husband was a military vet and passed away in the time of war, and they had been together for 10 years or 15 years. That's a big difference here and the reasons why she did it than just someone going out there and not being smart about their choices in life and having children too young. There is a big difference between that type of decision and someone else that has been in a long-term relationship, had a family, maybe is in their 30s or their 40s now, and something happened, There's lots of different reasons things can happen. But nonetheless, at that age, if you had kids in a marriage traditionally at 20 and now you're 40 or 42 or 45, something happened, you get divorced, whatever, the kids are on their own. You're now kind of a single adult again. But when you're 22 or 23, and I'm using this example because I literally read about it tonight. When you're 22 or 23 and you have 3 kids of your own, okay, these are young children. They're 2, 3. They've got 15, 16 years ahead of them till they're an adult. Do you think a guy's going to want to be with you and then have his own kids? That's like 3 or 4 or 5 kids that he's going to have to raise for 18 years. And 2 or 3 of them aren't his. I mean, you can only expect so much out of a man. Feminism is telling women that men are weak, inferior, selfish, childish, lazy, too picky. They're holding women back. They're afraid of strong women. And they're basically the cause for all the faults in the world. I mean, you can see that in movies and advertisements and articles on the web all over the place. And men are just getting pounded down. And then it just feels like everything we want to do is an uphill battle. Well, this is one more uphill battle we don't want to fight. You know, many men are now not taking university. It's now a 60-40 ratio. 60% graduates are now women. Men are going less and less and less to college. Why? It's an uphill battle because you've got certain politics that are involved with colleges. You've got a very hard push for feminism in colleges and very left. So guys are just saying, you know what? I'm not into the relationship. It's too much work. I can't fight that. I can't fight the colleges. I can't fight a lot of these things in the workplace anymore. And they're slowly backing up and just doing enough to let themselves get by and try to keep their sanity. Men are too worried about false implications or being accused or annoying behavior. Okay, let me try that again. Men are too worried about false implications or being accused of annoying behavior even when their intentions were just to innocently ask a girl out. Women wanted equality, so if they are interested, they better start asking men out. So we've heard it, right? I mean, time and time again. The very handsome guy says, hey, you look good, Judy. And she says, oh, thanks, I appreciate it. But the guy that thinks he's at least average says, hey, you look really nice today. I'm calling HR, right? You can't win anymore. So guys don't compliment. Guys they're afraid of even talking anymore. Younger guys, that is, to younger people because they've been spoon-fed this for so long. So now guys are gun shy about even talking to somebody or asking someone out. Just not happening anymore. Men are no longer appreciated for anything. I mean, that just says it all right there. So what do women bring to the table? What is it that we have to have from a woman that we can't get anywhere else, and why men traditionally? Well, men traditionally, even 20 or 30, 40 years ago, used to date a woman because if he made a good income, she wanted to stay home and raise a family and have a household. Or like in the case of my mother, she raised us kids until we were about 15, 14, 13, 12, whatever it was, when we could come home from school on our own and not, burn the house down or break something. And she then went and got a job because she wanted something to do and she wanted a little extra money for the family. But now women are told they should go to college, they should chase their desires, their dreams, get the job of their dreams, be passionate, do this, travel, so on and so forth. And all of a sudden, they're just getting started into the, maybe I should start, settling down and thinking about it when they're 30 or 35, right? There is no more mom at home, okay? And if women don't want to pull that role, that's fine, but don't expect, men to still want to be with you. So the women don't bring the cooking anymore. They don't bring the hobbies. They don't bring hobbies to the table. She's not a domestic partner. She wants to be equal as a guy, except for anatomy, right? Well, if she's equal to a guy, but why isn't the money being split equally? Why aren't, everything? It's not what guys are looking for. Now, I'm not saying that means that a woman should sit in the home and just be, a housemaker. I'm not saying that, but men still like the traditional values that women used to bring. As a matter of fact, I'm the cook in all my relationships because I love to cook and I love to eat good food. But I really haven't had anybody that I've dated that it's as good as even or better than a cook than me. And that's not saying much, really. So what they do bring is one thing, and that's that sweet cherry pie, right? They bring the one thing that all men want and no man has, right? But that's about it, really. And so if you can curb that appetite, Men can really get everything else they need. Because if you think about it, women say, well, but what about emotional support, or what about someone to be close to or do things with? Men have male friends. Men can have pets. Men have family members, brothers, sisters, parents, whatever. But even if they don't have that, they can still have, they have online forums to talk to. They have channels like my own to watch. There's online gaming, whether it's massively multiplayer online games, whether it's doing first-person shooters, just throwing on a headset, right? There's hobbies with like-minded people. For me, it's riding motorcycle with a group of friends. We meet up for coffee. We all sit around, and there's male and female there. We all sit around. We talk about, different events, life events, job, work, travel, so on and so forth, and we go out riding motorcycles for a few hours. It's great. Do that once or twice a week. My need for interacting with people is topped right off. I'm good. And you can also get a sales job or a job that interacts with people. Men can be nurses. Okay. Men can be salespeople. Men can't. If you're a younger guy and you want a job, don't be a clerk that's stocking shelves at a grocery store. Be the cashier and at least chat with people all day long, or be a barista, or be a bartender, or get into something where you can casually talk to people. And you'll have coworkers you can interact with as well. When you do that all day long with other hobbies and everything else, you get to talk to people all the time. Then you're excited to come home and have some alone time. So, guys, that's all I have on this stuff. If you think of anything that I've missed, I'd love to hear it. Make sure to post down below. I put up a new video on my second channel, The Unknown Adventure, about Iceland. It's a little low energy. It just kind of explains what I did and has some really pretty pictures out there. And if you like my work, feel free to toss me a little something down below and support my work on my PayPal account. Guys, that's going to be all there is for me tonight. This is Better Bachelor. I am Joker, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Thank you.